Would I be the asshole if I made my sister-in-law change the name of her unborn baby? My son, we'll call him Jack Emmett Smith, was born just over 6 months ago, and we decided to use my grandfather's name Emmett as his middle name to honor him, and because I have always been close to my grandfather. My sister-in-law is now pregnant with their second child unexpectedly after her first just had her first birthday. There will be about a 19-month age gap between them. The big thing here is that they already announced the name of the baby when she is only a month along. The name is the same name as my grandfather and my son's middle name Emmett. They already announced this to both sides of her family and announced that they won't even be calling her by that name but by a nickname for her entire childhood. My brother with all of this doesn't really care what they name the kids and really just lets my sister-in-law decide what she wants. Which is fine. But the fact that they announced the name and never even talked to us about it beforehand, and we only found out due to a group chat textings, especially since my son is barely 6 months old. My sister-in-law struggles with severe mental health issues, and I honestly don't know if I can bring this up to her without her having a complete meltdown and her end up thinking that we hate her and so on and so on. I spoke to my mother about it, and she said that she thinks it's great that we all like the same name and that names take on a different meaning for everyone, and that it is completely fine. My mother has also had to go through a lot of struggles in her relationship with my sil due to the mental health struggles and all sorts of issues there. Would I be the asshole for telling my sister-in-law that she needs to change the name of her unborn child because it is too soon after my own son being born? You're the asshole. It's your son's middle name. People hardly ever use middle names. It's actually kind of neat they are using it as a first name. It's something they'll have in common. Stopped reading after they announced the name and never even talked to us about it beforehand. This is over the top entitled, and it's their business naming their kid. You don't own a name lol. Look at how many families have like 8 people named John lol. You're the asshole. Edit. Okay. We made our point here. You all have people in your families with similar names. We can stop bombarding me with your comments that are the exact same as all the others. You're the asshole just thinking that it's your business. YWBTA for 2 reasons. 1. Thinking you can make her change the name as if you had that type of power to control what others do. 2. For feeling ownership over the name. It's a name. I'm sure you'll meet other people in the world with that name. Get over it. My cousin named her son Samuel. My cousin's sister had a kid and named him Sam. So the 2 kids are Sam and Samuel. No one took issue with this. This is not in your control. I suggest learning to just accept it. If you hate it so much, change your own kid's name because that you can control. You're the asshole. It seems a little weird for you to be upset over a middle name. Maybe the sil isn't the only one with mental health issues. You're the asshole. You are being really childish and weirdly possessive over a name. You do not have the ownership of the name and have no right to even ask your sister-in-law. You're the asshole. You don't have sole rights to your grandfather's name. Or any name actually. Your child is called Jack for a start. Edit. Jack being the first name, not Emmett. Nothing against regular Jacks. You're the asshole. The name someone chooses for their kid is their choice. Nobody else has something to do with that. There are 2 things you need to understand and understand fast. 1. You cannot control what people might or might not do. 2. You do not have monopoly on a name. Yes. You are Ta. You're the asshole. Why does it matter? It's a nice gesture on both families to honor someone. And what the hell does too soon mean? She has the right to use that name the next day if she wants. You're the asshole. Cousins share family names all the time. And you didn't even use it as a first name. There is no reason your sil can't use it. Don't say anything to her and work on getting over your entitlement. You're the asshole. Emmett was the name of your grandfather in the first place. And he was the grandpa of your brother too. It's just a middle name. Both babies have a different first name and, when they are growing up, will have different personalities. You just acting like you sis-in-law stole the name. That's not true. My cousins have both the same name, the youngest in the first name and the oldest in the middle. And I don't see the problem. You're the asshole. If you cared that much about the name, you should have given it as your kid's first name. But even if you had, you still wouldn't have any right to demand approval rights of your SIL's name choices. You're the asshole. Why should they talk to you about it? You don't own the name. Nobody cares if your sil struggles with severe mental health issues. You are muddying the water. Even bring it up in this post. Your sil doesn't need to be bothered by your opinion because it is none of your business. What you name your own child is your and your partner's business. 2. There can be more than one kid in the family named Emmett, especially if the other name is something different. MTOB. And you're the asshole. Would I be the asshole for telling my sister-in-law that she needs to change the name of her unborn child because it is too soon after my own son being born? Yes. YWBTA. It's not up to you what someone else names their child. Emmett is a family name and you don't get to call dibs on a name. You're the asshole. It's very common for families to share names and for kids to have the same middle name. She likes the name. So do you. And neither of you are apparently calling your kid by that name. So there won't be any confusion. You don't own the name. She and your brother get to name their kid what they want. You're the asshole. It's your kid's middle name, not first name. Middle names are like 99.9 unimportant. YWBTA for trying to make your sil choose a different name. First, according to one of your comments, she's having a girl, and they will call her Emma. Second, Emmett is your son's middle name. It's not like she wants to name the kid Jacqueline Emmett Smith. Third, you don't hold the copyright to any name. YWBTA. You don't own names, and even if you did, your kid's name is Jack. You're the asshole. This has nothing to do with mental health issues. The main issue is you're being an asshole. You don't own the name. And if you loved it so much, you would have used it as a first name. Your sil has every right to tell you to go pound sand if you bring it up. You're the asshole for bringing up your SIL's mental health issues as if that has anything to do with the situation. Acting as if you can't bring it up because she'd be so unreasonable. You are the one being unreasonable. No one gives a monkeys what your child's middle name is. Only a handful of people in his life will ever even know it. Get over yourself and congratulate them on their baby and beautiful choice of name. Although I also have questions. 1. How do they know the gender if they are only a month along? 2. Have you asked your brother why they chose that name? Maybe he wanted to honor his grandfather too. You knew it was a family name. You're the asshole and can't own the name. You're the asshole. It's the middle name. Even if it wasn't, who cares? My niece and nephew cousins have the same middle name because it's a family name. Very common. You're the asshole. They can honor your grandfather just as you can. Nothing wrong with the same first name and middle name. YWBTA. You're the asshole. You don't own the name. And it's a middle name too. Personally, I would find it charming that they were using a name that was special to me for a first name.
Am I the asshole for telling my brother I won't attend his wedding unless he lets our sister attend? Hi, this has been playing on my mind a bit, and I'd just like some relatively unbiased opinions. My older brother is getting married in December. Last minute thing, I'm very happy for him. My twin sister has just had her first baby, and as such is breastfeeding. Baby will still be 100 breastfed if all goes to plan by the time the wedding happens. My brother and soon-to-be wife doesn't want any kids under 10 at the wedding, but the bride's sister's infant is allowed to attend. We assumed my sister would be allowed, too, so didn't really question it. The babies are the same age. Last week my brother corrected us and said our nephew wasn't invited. He didn't specify past that for a bit, but later did reveal that it's because they don't want her breastfeeding and attracting attention. My sister doesn't think she can attend, and so he said that was fine, they wouldn't account for her. She got really upset, later blamed it on hormones, but she's always looked up to him, so I think it meant more to her that she's saying. So, basically, she is no longer invited to the wedding. I later on informed my brother that he could take me off the invited list, too, because I wouldn't be attending without my sister and nephew. Word got out among our family, and 2 younger siblings have also decided they aren't going now. It's created a bit of a situation, as you can probably imagine. Our brother is pissed as all hell. He's calling me and telling me I've ruined his big day, begged me to speak to the younger 2, asked me to attend, etc. I've always been firm in my no. Our parents stepped in and are doing the whole "you need to support your brother, blah blah." No one, besides the 3 siblings who also aren't attending, are on my side. I was thinking it was because my brother is just the favorite oldest, golden child, but now I'm wondering if I was seriously out of line. Am I the asshole? Was I a royal asshole, or was it deserved? Not the asshole. It's not fair her sister's baby is welcome and your sister's baby isn't. And does your brother really think she will be nursing at the dinner table? Most moms don't even want to nurse in public. I can imagine the accommodation will be more than happy to find her a quiet room to nurse her baby. Not the asshole, you need to support your brother. And they need to support their daughter. Arrange dinner with sister siblings on brother's wedding day instead. Not the asshole. If there's going to be another baby that's the same age there and his hang-up is checks notes his sister feeding her child, it's not 1955 anymore, that's what boobs are for, he's the one being weird about it. Not the asshole. He is letting a baby of the same age and equivalent relationship to one of them attend. At that age, all children are unpredictable, so the excuse that one baby will be quiet and peaceful during the ceremony and the other won't doesn't apply. They are willing to make an exception for the bride's sister, but not the groom's. He can't accuse you of ruining his wedding because the siblings didn't make their decision because of you. They made their decision because they agreed with you and found the bride and groom's behavior unfair. You made a decision that concerns you and gave your reasons. That doesn't make you you're free not to want to go to his wedding if you don't feel like it. You are not responsible of the consequences of their actions. Not the asshole. Hope the baby from the bride's family spits up on the bride and groom. Not the asshole. He can choose to invite you, your other siblings. You can choose to decline the invite. Just like he can choose to not invite your other sister. Strong. Not the asshole. He has decided to allow a baby of the same age and with an equivalent relationship to one of them to be present. Given the age, all children can be unpredictable, so the argument that one baby will remain calm and peaceful during the ceremony while the other won't doesn't hold. They are open to making an exception for the bride's sister but not for the groom's. Not the asshole. It's your right and I respect your reasoning. And you have to support your brother. What about you have to support your sister? Not the asshole. You are standing up for your family. Why should the bride's family get to bring an infant? She can go to a side room to breastfeed. With all the commotion at the reception, this would be much easier on the child. With that young of an infant, they would not be staying very late. So what, the kid gets fed twice, brother is an R. Not the asshole. He and his fiancée have ruined their wedding. What do they honestly think your sister is going to do? Lob a boob out and suckle her child on every wedding photo? I can't believe your parents are supporting this behavior. Not the asshole. They want double standards to show how much less you think your sister is when compared to the bride's family. If your brother does not fight for his family, then he doesn't get to have some of them attend as well. Keep up the supporting your sister. But later did reveal that it's because they don't want her breastfeeding and attracting attention. I only read to this point. Air his dirty laundry to the whole family and in-laws. Shun him. Not the asshole. Edit seems like that already happened. Wow, your parents are real. Not the asshole at all. With luck the other baby will scream all through the ceremony. Not the asshole. Nursing at events like that is best done in a separate room anyway because a lot of babies get distracted too much and forget to drink properly. There is absolutely no reason for one baby to be allowed to attend and not the other. That's ridiculous. I'm glad you're standing with your sister. She needs the support. Your brother is the R. Why should his sister-in-law's baby be allowed to come, but his own sister's isn't allowed? If breastfeeding is an issue, then he can make an arrangement with her to only do it in private. I'm sure she'd agree. But the fact that he just cut her child off and didn't seem to care whether or not she came, when she's his own sister, makes him an R. And you are 100 right for standing up for your sister, and I'm glad to hear the other relatives are joining in. The only one who ruined your brother's big day is himself, by being an R. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You didn't give him an ultimatum or anything, you just told him you won't be attending and why. He doesn't have to invite anybody he doesn't want to invite to the wedding, but at the same time no one is obligated to show up. Not the asshole. You're calling him out on his double standard. Not ah. So her sister is allowed with her infant, but his doesn't? Yeah, bye-bye and don't even think about a gift. Not the asshole. Your brother and his fiancée are disrespecting your entire family by allowing her family to do what they are denying your family to do. Don't understand why your parents don't see that. Why is her family more important than yours? Ask parents to explain that to you. They could always set aside a small room for your sister to breastfeed in. Oh wait. Is your sister a single mum? Could this be the real reason bridegroom doesn't want her there? You need to support your brother. I need to support my sister, too, and she has a baby to look after, so that trumps my brother. Normally I'd say you were in the wrong, but the fact that the bride's sister is allowed to attend with her child makes your brother TA. Stick to your guns, tell him he's the one with the power to get you there. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's disrespectful to invite his sister-in-law with a baby but not his own sister. Totally fine to not attend and choose your sister's side. If he just had asked her to feed in private, I am sure she would have done so without fuss. Your bro is a Not the asshole. Do they think she is going to rip her dress off on the middle of the dance floor and breastfeed while waving her arms around? If the bride's sister's baby is welcome, it isn't a rule about babies. It is specifically targeting your sister, and your brother should be ashamed of himself. Not the asshole. Your brother is being an R. Not R. He's letting a baby of the same age and developmental level be there. Stand firm. Not the asshole. This is such blatant and unforgivable double standards exercised by your brother, his bride, and supported by your parents. If anyone is ruining the occasion, it's the bride and groom with their ridiculous decision. Fear not, you and the other two are not the only ones disgusted by this distasteful state of affairs. Once word spreads, you'll find others agree with you. Please stand your ground, for the sake of your sister and nephew. I foresee a troubled marriage. Not the asshole.
He turned out great. Not the asshole.
Am I the asshole? For not inviting my sister-in-law to my wedding? My F28 brother Tom 37 has 2 kids from his first marriage. Me and my brother get along well, the kids love me and I love them. The problem is my brother's new wife Kate. They got married last year and I was happy about them, I really liked Kate as we are same age and could relate to many things, until I realized she despises me and badmouths me to our friends. After confronting Kate about why she dislikes me, she said that it's because I keep in touch with Tom's ex-wife Luana. The two of them divorced on good terms and has 50-50 custody of their kids. I still meet up with Luana occasionally to plan things for the kids' birthdays and holidays, as Luana and the kids are my family. Kate complained about it to Tom, to which he said he can't tell me what to do with my friendship with Luana. Since then Kate has done everything in her power to prevent me from meeting Tom and his kids. I can only see them when they're staying with Luana. We have a tradition of family vacation each May. Tom was invited to come with Kate and they did. Kate knows I'm allergic to pineapple, but she still mixed the cocktails with pineapple juice. She said it's orange juice, so
Am I the asshole for refusing to take in my stepdaughter and ruining her mom's life? IF30 had posted another Am I the asshole? query a couple days back regarding whether I am an for not taking care of my stepdaughter Eve personally and instead hiring a babysitter. A lot of the comments blamed me for marrying a man with a child when I want to be child-free. The comments made me see my situation more clearly and I left Dave. I told him I get how the situation has changed, and since I haven't changed, I cannot spend next 11 years of my life raising a child or giving her issues cause I don't want her around. He begged me to stay. But learning my lesson already, I left. I am staying in a hotel now and will be meeting with lawyers tomorrow. But half an hour ago I got a call from Eve's mother. She yelled and screamed at me for ruining her life. I didn't get it. I didn't do anything to her. Turns out about an hour or so after I left, Dave took Eve back to her house and told her he can't lose his marriage over a child that was a mistake. She said she can't take her in or it would ruin her marriage. He told her she can take him to court and he will pay whatever child support he has to. But he won't sacrifice his life so she can play house with her new guy. She told me I have to take Eve in and that's the only way she can save her marriage. That Dave will look after Eve as long as I stay with him too. I told her I won't. It's not my responsibility anymore. Eve is her and Dave's child, not mine. And I no longer want to be with a man who keeps putting me in this position. She screamed I was ruining her life. Am I the asshole for refusing to take Eve in? That poor child. I sincerely hope she was not listening when one said she was a mistake and they both want new marriages over her. They are both more than awful. Oh my sweet lord. I commented on your other post you did the right thing in this situation by walking away to avoid further emotionally damaging this kid. But the parents' behavior is making me absolutely seethe. Seriously. Are there grandparents or someone who will make this child feel loved? That you could reach out to who could possibly intervene? Her parents are going to mess her up so bad she'll think no one wants or loves her. These two should not be parents. Seriously. It's disgusting. That poor girl. Imagine learning that both your parents don't want you. Even if she hasn't heard it directly, she still knows. This poor child is going to deal with so many negative thoughts and emotions, it's heartbreaking. What crappy parents Eva has. Poor thing. You have no obligation to her. Her awful parents do. Don't go back to him. You are child-free, but you are also human. Do you really want to be with a guy who ditch his daughter like she is nothing? Not the asshole, but that poor child. Why are people having children they don't want? Why are they prioritizing their romantic partners above their minor children? I just don't understand. But that poor little girl. Not the asshole. Your husband is awful. Why WBTA if you take back a man who is okay with abandoning his child? Poor Eve. You're all assholes. That poor kid. My God. This poor little girl. There are 4 adults here who all actively participated in taking steps to be legally tied to her parents by creating her and their partners by marrying someone with a child, and they're all treating her like an unwanted trash. I'll adopt this poor girl. Not the asshole Dave is. He made a baby. He might rather be with you. But tough luck. What is wrong with Dave and X? I feel so bad for this kid having 2 selfish jerks for parents who are more concerned about their marriages than her being theirs to protect and love. Edit grammar. For crying out loud. Fuck it. I'll take Eve. What a bunch of horrible assholes. I can't imagine myself mouthing these words. Humans are programmed to love their children. Stay away from them. You did the right thing. At this point, I will adopt this kid. Poor Eve. Not the asshole. X200B. Block the mom's number. This is between them. And has nothing to do with you. X200B. But are you sure you want to be with that man? He is an and a deadbeat. As is his mom. X200B. Get away from all of them and their never-ending drama. You're the asshole, and so is literally everyone else except that poor child. You are all extremely selfish and cruel. That poor child is left wondering why nobody wants her. Shame on the lot of you. OMG, that poor, sweet little girl. She deserves so much better than two shit parents who don't care about her. You're the asshole because you lack any empathy for this child. Regardless if she is yours or not, you are basically treating her like her existence is a nuisance. It's shocking that you don't even realize how messed up the whole situation is and that this child did nothing wrong. You don't need to want kids to have a conscience. Jesus Christ. You married a man with a child while wanting to be child-free, which shows such a catastrophic lack of forethought. Your STBX is now so spectacularly failing his own child for such ridiculously selfish reasons. The mother is trying to throw away her child so she can play happy families. You at least sought to remedy your role on this. But your lack of any thought helped cause it. The parents are such horrifically awful people. Yet all three of you have contributed to this situation and the trauma that child will undergo, and while you're not for leaving, you are for everything that came before. You're all the villain in this story. So it's her marriage or yours. You get to choose. I feel sorry for the child, but still. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'm pretty sure I commented on that post. I'm glad you left. But I stand by my comment that this poor girl has terrible parents. They're throwing her around like garbage because they only care about what they want. Eve deserves better than everyone she is supposed to have in her corner. How can so many adults let down one kid? My previous judgment still stands. You still went back to him after he abandoned his child for you. Mom sucks because as she's doing the same. If Eve develops resentment for everyone involved, no should be surprised. Not the asshole. Why does this woman even have your number? Block her straight away. Eve is not your responsibility. You have done the right thing in leaving. Both Dave's and Eve's mother are not great people. They are prioritizing themselves over their child. Which is wrong. Poor child unwanted by both parents. I feel really bad for the kid. You are all Oz. Fuck all y'all. You are all awful people. That poor little girl is going to be messed up for life. I hope wherever she ends up it's with people who actually love her. Poor little girl. Poor kid was born to two selfish assholes who should not have kids and is gonna have issue forever. Cause of it. That poor child. All the adults in this post are the assholes. I am child-free and I hate all the adults in this story. My God. This poor kid. Not the asshole for this particular instance. I think you did the right thing. Don't you dare get back together with this low-life who yet again wants to just throw his kid away. Not the asshole. The child is not your responsibility. You have realized your mistake in thinking you could deal with the situation. So you're getting out of it. Your soon-to-be ex's marriage is not remotely your problem. I'm sure it's been said. But the only person not being an in this mess is the kid. That poor kid doesn't deserve to be stuck with any of you. Oh, that poor girl. You are NTA for trying to do the right thing. However, I do think should you have ever married him? Probably not, but you tried to right that wrong. However, your husband and his ex are terrible people. I hope that girl has some grandparents who can help or something, as all the adults in her life absolutely suck. Am I the asshole? For being mad over double standards in my marriage? A week ago I asked my daughter to quickly watch her brother 10 months while I picked up some things from the floor that I had been working on during his nap. She rarely gets asked to watch him, as I feel that he is my job, not hers. Hubby came home and saw that she was watching baby and went off on me about how I was irresponsible. Accidents happen quickly and she wouldn't know what to do in a choking event. These are all reasonable fears, so I made the necessary changes to ensure I am there to watch him at all times. Today, Sunday, I asked him to watch baby as I started baking a large order. I came into the room and noticed he was alone watching TV. I asked him where baby was and he replied that our daughter was watching him in her bedroom. Her bedroom is on the opposite side of the house. And with the TV blaring, you could definitely not hear what was going on in her room. I pointed out to him how he yelled at me last week for the same thing and he replied that was different. When asked how, he replied she wants to look after him. She came to ask me if she could. I was so mad. I didn't leave them alone for prolonged periods of time. I was literally in and out of the room during all of that time as I was cleaning up. But that was neglectful and dangerous because I asked her to watch baby. While at the same time it is perfectly okay for her to be left completely alone, rooms away, with the TV on. Because she asked to watch him, so somehow that would mean that she pays closer attention to him. Like accidents don't happen when you choose to look after a baby. He is now mad at me, saying I am overreacting and that I am still in the wrong while he is not. I accept that I was wrong in asking her to watch him. But am I wrong for being mad about the double standards? Not the asshole. Hubby needs to stop babysitting his kid and start parenting his children. Not the asshole. Rules for thee and not for me. He's clearly applying a double standard and doubling down when confronted. Not the asshole. If it's not safe in his mind, it's not safe whether your daughter wants to do it or not. He's absolutely in the wrong for being inconsistent when it benefits him. If hubby wants to talk out of his ass rationalizing his blatant double standard, he should probably remove his head from that ass first so that his hypocrisy and misogyny can be heard more clearly. Not the asshole. Sounds like a terrible marriage. Does he ever support you? What can you do? Sounds like he's the kind of guy that just expects to put you down and get away with it. Do you live like this a lot? You need to stand up for yourself and tell him to be better. Not the asshole. Fuck that shit. If he wants to act like he's the better parent, let him have it. Leave him with the kids for a weekend. He'll be calling you the first hour because
Am I the asshole? For telling my stepsister that I don't give a FCK about her and her baby? My stepsister, Jenna, has a 3-month-old son. My mom watches him all day while she's at school, but Jenna has to stay home pretty much all the time when she's not at school because my mom won't watch him more than she has to. I've had to take care of him a lot. I am taking very rigorous classes and am involved in a lot of extracurriculars, so I have very little free time. Most days I don't get home until 6, and then Jenna asks me to watch him for a bit before dinner, so I usually don't get to start doing my homework until after dinner at like 8. I don't think I've gotten more than 5 hours of sleep on a school night in weeks. When I do have time to sleep, I get woken up every few hours by a crying baby. I'm on track to be valedictorian and my grades are suffering because of Jenna's kid. My dad never found the milk, so there's nowhere else I can go. I'm stuck here. I decided I'm done watching her baby, so now I just go to the library or a friend's house after school and don't come home until 9. On weekends I leave the house as early as possible and come home at night. Jenna said that she needs me to stay at home a little more because she can't watch her baby without any help all day. I told her that she chose to have that kid and he's her responsibility. She said that her mental health is suffering because she can't go out much since I stopped watching him, and I need to help her because we're sisters. I said that I don't give a FCK about her and her baby, and if she doesn't want to watch him then she can get a job to pay for a babysitter. She's mad at me now and she told my mom. My mom said she can't make me do anything, but she's disappointed that I'm so selfish and she can't believe that she raised an uncaring brat like me. Am I the asshole? Edit: the baby's dad's parents pay child support but they don't want to be in his life. The dad goes to another school so they have pretty much zero contact. We live in California so abortion is easy to access, but Jenna chose not to abort even though her parents encouraged her to. Her mom lives 3 hours away and her dad doesn't watch the kid because that's women's work. Edit: it was wrong of me to say I don't give a duck about the kid. I do care for him, I just don't want to spend my free time watching him. Not the asshole. You have an interesting family. Jenna's mental health is suffering from watching the baby all the time, so the obvious solution is for you to watch her baby all the time. Your mom apparently has a rigid limit on the amount of time she will watch the baby, but is disappointed in you for being so selfish for not watching the child during all your free time. You are child-free and excelling at school, but you are an uncaring brat. Can you move in with a relative or family friend to finish school? Not the asshole. Don't damage your future because of someone else's poor choices. Not the asshole. You are a child. It is not your responsibility to care for your nibbling. It's unfortunate that your sister became a parent so young, but her choice does not mean that everyone in her orbit is on the hook for the consequences of that choice. Your feelings are valid. Refusing to give up your adolescence does not make you selfish. My dad never found the milk, so there's nowhere else I can go. I've got to know what this means, lol. But otherwise, not the asshole. Don't cave. My friend ended up looking after her baby stepsister while doing important exams. Dunno why her stepmom couldn't do it tbh, and she didn't get into medical school due to her grades. It's not your baby. Not the asshole, and your mom is an enabler. She likes it so much, she can watch the baby even more. Jenna needs to grow up and take care of her baby. Not the asshole. You didn't get pregnant in high school and you are taking care of your future. That child is not your responsibility. Not the asshole. Actions have consequences. Jenna chose to have a baby, so Jenna can suck it up and deal. She can watch him herself, get a job and pay a sitter like you suggested, or even put him up for adoption if she's decided that parenting is too much for her to handle. As for your mom, tell her that you did care until it started impacting your own mental health and schoolwork, and that, if she had stepped in to at least reduce the amount of time you were expected to watch him, none of this would have happened, and that you may be an uncaring brat, but she's a bad mother. Not the asshole. This baby is not your responsibility. Keep your grades your top priority, they're the best way out of this toxic mess. Not the asshole, and your mother has no business asking you to give up any of your time for this child. Let her think of you as an uncaring brat. I'd rather be that than an unpaid babysitter for a teen mom. Not the asshole, in this case you have to be selfish. Your sister made choices and has to deal with the consequences. You did not get pregnant and you have a promising future. If mom tells you that you are selfish again, agree with her. I am selfish, and plan to be so. Not the asshole, Jenna has to deal with the consequences of her actions. She's a mom and needs to start taking responsibility. Stop babysitting at all. Also, if you have a phone, you could download a white noise app and wear headphones to bed. This might help cut down on your sleep loss. BTW, the reason your mom might be upset with you is because mom expects to get stuck babysitting even more if you aren't involved. But that's not your problem. You don't owe it to anyone to give up your time so stepsis can still have a social life. Keep up your studies and plan to get out as soon as possible. Not the asshole. Jenna is for getting pregnant, having a kid so young that she can't deal with. Her kid is not your responsibility. She can deal with the consequences of her actions. Guessing the dad is nowhere to be seen? Don't let her or your mom tell you you're selfish. You have your own life and future to think about. Not the asshole. Her baby is not your responsibility. It's nice if you help out when you want to, but you definitely shouldn't be expected to stop your life for her kid. Are you willing to sacrifice everything you've worked hard for your sister's child? And your teen years as well? You did not have a child at 16, so it's ridiculous to expect you to raise someone's child at 16. Tell your mom you're a teenager and you refuse to sacrifice your enjoyment of these years because of stepsister's choices. Not the asshole. Keep doing you, boo. Not the asshole. Your stepsister decided to have a kid. She needs to figure out her life. It annoys me beyond belief that people are called selfish for not taking on the consequences of others' actions. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, the baby isn't your responsibility. You're in high school and you need to study and get a good night's rest without a baby holding you back. She made a choice to have a baby. There are consequences to our actions. If your mom thinks you're a selfish brat, then maybe she should blame herself since she raised you. The baby's father in its life? Did your sister think that once the baby was born all of you would pitch in? Her baby, her responsibility. Not the asshole. What about her bio parents? Not the asshole. Jenna's dad can watch the baby. It's his granddaughter and daughter. Jenna wants you to watch the baby since she's jealous you don't have that responsibility, and we all know misery loves company. Also, you need to show your mom this post and the comments. She needs a wake-up call on how to be a parent to you and also to set boundaries for her own sanity. Dad and baby daddy family need to step up and you and your mom need to take a step back. Not the asshole. Bye, your mom sure is. Not the asshole. For some reason people have decided it is incumbent on those who are responsible to care for those who aren't. That shit needs to end. Not the asshole. Stand your ground. Keep telling SS to adopt the baby out. Call CPS and complain you're being forced to give childcare to a newborn. Not the asshole. I'm glad you're putting your foot down and going elsewhere to get your work done. But you and I both know it was pretty harsh and likely untrue to say that you didn't give a fuck about them. I'd encourage you to apologize for that part, but explain that you can't babysit anymore as your grades are suffering. You don't need to engage any further. Just walk away. Not the asshole, but your mom is. Not the asshole. Her baby, her responsibility. Also, where is the father of the child? He should also be looking after his own kid. You, however, shouldn't be forced to jeopardize your own future. Not the asshole. Her kid, her problem. Am I the asshole? For not going to my sister's wedding? I have been married to my wonderful wife for a year. My sister is getting married October 1st. I'm happy for her, but I'm not attending the wedding. Sister is one of the angriest people I've ever met. Mom brushes it off because sister's a tiny blonde who weighs 105 pounds soaking wet, but she has rages that can last for days. If you do something she disapproves of, she'll scream and sob and break things. It's been this way our whole lives, and she's never once faced consequences or admitted to wrongdoing. Well, if you can't guess from the fact that I'm posting here, I did something she didn't like, and her response led me to block her on everything. If I'm the asshole for doing this, I'm ready to accept my judgment. But I think I made the right decision. I'm the only boy in my family. When I married wife, I took her last name. I did it for practical reasons. My last name was hard to pronounce spell, and hers is a word. Think Jessica Rabbit or Grace Slick. That's my wife. She never has to spell it out or help pronounce it, and ever since I took her name, I've been significantly happier. I work on a construction site, and even the meatheads there said, "Wow, that's much easier." Good call. Sister who didn't attend my wedding, FDR, was absolutely furious when I told her. Screamed at me, called my wife an emasculating abusive bitch, said she was going to start calling me Mrs., and that wife's not invited to the wedding. I said if wife isn't invited then I'm not invited, we're a package deal. Sister told us both to fuck off, and I thought that was the end of it. We didn't speak for months, but then a wedding invitation arrived in the mail. It was addressed to me. Just me, using my old name. No acknowledgement of my new name or my wife. I swear, if sister had simply addressed the invitation to Mr. and Mrs. new name, I would have taken it as a sign that she felt remorse. Wife agrees that the gesture would have gone a long way. But instead sister decided to toss in what felt like a final petty dig. I told sister we would only attend if she apologized for calling my wife a bitch. She refused, accused us of giving her an ultimatum, and said we were punishing her for having an opinion. I no longer care that it's my sister's wedding. I refuse to subject my wife to what will surely be an abusive train wreck. Now that the wedding is only a few weeks away, my family's been hounding me non-stop. They don't understand how I could miss my sister's big day, and they think she can't be held accountable for her actions because planning a wedding is stressful. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. X200B. Mark that piece of mail unknown, return to sender and send it right back to her. Not the asshole. They were okay with sister missing your big day. They were okay with her being abusive when you were planning your weddings. Keep her in timeout. Punishing her for having an opinion. She has rights to have an opinion, but that doesn't mean her opinion won't have consequences. She doesn't get a say about your life choices. Finally, she has disrespected you and your wife by using your old name. It's not an opinion, it's deliberate disrespect. I'd have made all of those conversations public on Facebook and then blocked her. Not the asshole. Miss my sister's big day. Why would you want to go? She is insufferable and mean. Family doesn't obligate you to endlessly be abused. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If your sister behaves like this, then I'm sure you will be able to attend one of her future weddings. It will only be a matter of time before she ruins her spouse's life and ends up alone. Maybe your sister is hungry? Buy her a box of Snickers and mail it to her as your wedding gift. Not the asshole. Size is irrelevant. Your sister is abusive, period. For some reason your family continues to not only enable it, but expect for others to accept this pathetic behavior. While they're prepared to accept, why on earth would you? And shame on your parents for allowing her to treat their other kid and his wife this way. They suck, too. I feel sorry for your sister's husband and any poor kids if she chooses to have any. The sister is a real peach. What does his mom mean by making her go alone? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I wouldn't go either. This is classic narcissistic behavior by your sister. Besides, technically, the invite wasn't really addressed to you, was it? Not the asshole. X200B. This is one of those cases where the family is hoping the sane reasonable person will suck up all the BS so that they can pretend everything is lovely. Your sister sounds like a horror. Neither you nor your wife deserve to be treated that way. I would have no interest in having a relationship with your sister, but I do love the way you are sticking up for your wife. That part is outstanding. You are definitely not the asshole. Not the asshole. You aren't even remotely an asshole here. Your sister's behavior sounds appalling and abusive. Going to her wedding would be enabling her and would send the message that it's okay for her to continue acting in this way. You are 100 doing the right thing, and it sounds as though you are better steering way clear of her and perhaps other family members too. My husband's family fell out with us after we got engaged and displayed a lot of toxic behavior, ending in them giving him an ultimatum: me or them. He chose to cut them out and says he's so much happier for it. No toxicity now. Not the asshole. Protect yourself and your wife from your angry crazy sister. Not the asshole. Some people are just toxic and sis sounds like one of them. Going Elsie or North Carolina with her seems a good idea. First step, skip the wedding. To all the people saying how could you miss your sister's wedding? Remind them about how she missed yours. If you attend the wedding, stand by your wife. Your sister is toxic and your family is enabling her. Not the asshole. Not by a long shot. It's not that you're punishing her for having an opinion, it's that you're setting a boundary and sticking to it. From the sounds of things, your sister has never met a boundary she can't bust, destroy, and has never, ever been held accountable for her actions. The family has enabled her probably because it's easier than incurring her wrath. And yeah, planning a wedding is stressful. That doesn't mean you get to take a pass on being a decent human being though. Wow, what the hell is wrong with the rest of your family by enabling her? Not the asshole. You and your wife should plan a weekend away to completely avoid any family members during the wedding. I would keep your phone on mute and have a great time with no drama. Your sister is a train wreck and hopefully she will grow up or her marriage will not last very long. Not the asshole. You weren't invited, why would you go? Good for you for sticking up for your wife. Not the asshole. I would have sent it returned to sender, no one hear it with that name. Why didn't the sister go to your wedding? Just curious. BTW, totally not the asshole. Sister's a tiny blonde who weighs 105 pounds soaking wet, but she has rages that can last for days. If you do something she disapproves of, she'll scream and sob and break things. It's been this way our whole lives, and she's never once faced consequences or admitted to wrongdoing. So your sister is really the golden hair child. Well, now she is facing the consequences. Since it was said the other sibling backed out as well. Nata. I get it with the name change. I have one of those last names that no one wants to try to pronounce. Not the asshole. You told her the boundary and she crossed it, thus telling you, non-verbally, that she does not want you at the wedding, and she doubled down on this by using the wrong name. Do no go let her finally have consequences for her behavior. I can only imagine the shitstorm that the wedding is going to be. Grimacing face, so many things go wrong on the day of that with her short fuse. It's going to be more dramatic and explosive than a telenovela. Not the asshole. My late brother was a sadistic narcissist with massive rage issues, way more than a temper. By the time he was 9 he was proud of the fact he could inflict pain and not leave a mark. The second best day of my life was the day he moved out of state after his divorce. All of us cut contact with him for good. Sister is one of the angriest people I've ever met. To sister. If you read this, you suck. Your anger is no reason based on who you are. Get an anger management, you elephant brain. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your sister sounds like a psycho. A therapist once told me, every family is ruled by its most emotionally volatile member. That would be your sister. I have spoken.